Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences, due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Episode 36 of the 1836 podcast, Quatawapea. Quatawapea, also known as Colonel John Lewis, was born around 1760 in the Ohio country near present-day Circleville, Ohio, within one of the Shawnee villages on the Pickaway Plains along the Scioto River. His early life was marked by the encroachment of white settlers, which set the stage for his pivotal role in Shawnee leadership. Quatawapea's name, translating to "the man who swims below and above the water," reflects his resilience and adaptability, traits that defined his leadership.
From a young age, Quatawapea was immersed in the conflicts of his time. He fought in both the American Revolutionary War and the Northwest Indian War, standing alongside other Shawnee warriors to resist the expansion of the United States into their territory. These conflicts were not merely battles for land, but crucial struggles for the survival of Shawnee culture and autonomy, highlighting Quatawapea's commitment to defending his people's rights and lands. Quatawapea's vision extended beyond mere resistance. He aspired to establish an autonomous Indian nation, a confederacy where Native American tribes could unite under a single banner to resist further American encroachment. This ambitious vision required both military efforts and diplomatic engagement with various tribes to foster unity. His interactions with William Clark, one half of the Lewis and Clark expedition, exemplified this dual approach.
Although their meetings are not comprehensively documented, they likely involve discussions on land rights, treaty negotiations, and the preservation of Shawnee autonomy. Clark, as a U.S. government representative, played a crucial role in overseeing relations with Native American tribes, and Quatawapea's engagement with him demonstrated his diplomatic finesse and determination. During his interactions with American authorities, Quatawapea was known as Colonel John Lewis, a name reflecting his efforts in diplomacy. The title Colonel, likely an honorary rank given by American officials, signified respect or recognition of his leadership. It was common in the early 19th century for Native American leaders to be assigned military titles by U.S. government representatives as a means of acknowledging their status or role in negotiations. The use of the name John Lewis may have been adopted during these interactions to align with American naming conventions or facilitate diplomatic relations. It is said that modern-day Lewistown, Ohio, is named after Quatawapea, but in his government name of Colonel John Lewis.
The culmination of Quatawapea's recognition came when President Thomas Jefferson awarded him the Presidential Peace Medal. This honor, a symbol of peace and friendship between the United States and Native American tribes, acknowledged Quatawapea's influence and leadership among the Shawnee. The medal was not merely a token of recognition, but a strategic acknowledgement of his role in navigating the complex relations between the Shawnee and the encroaching American power. It represented both a mark of respect and a tool for negotiation in a rapidly changing world.
Quatawapea's leadership, marked by this significant event, continued to inspire and guide the Shawnee as they faced the relentless tide of American settlement. The Presidential Medal thus stands as a testament to his ability to balance diplomacy and warfare in securing a future for his people amidst overwhelming change. In the early 19th century, as American expansionism surged westward, Quatawapea led his Shawnee people to a new settlement in what would become known as Shawnee Town, now Yellville, Arkansas. This relocation was driven by the relentless encroachment of white settlers and internal tribal dynamics, which pushed the Shawnee to seek a new refuge where they could preserve their cultural integrity. They chose a site along Crooked Creek in Marion County, attracted by the fertile lands and the strategic location along the White River, which offered abundant resources and a crucial trade route.
Quatawapea's leadership during this transition was marked by a blend of diplomacy and strategic foresight. As a chief, he worked to unite the Shawnee and foster peaceful relations with neighboring tribes. His approach combined resistance to cultural assimilation with adaptation to new circumstances, allowing for cultural exchange while striving to uphold Shawnee traditions. The settlement of Shawnee Town became a hub where Shawnee customs could thrive and where they could govern themselves amidst the pressures of westward expansion. Quatawapea's interactions with Tecumseh, another prominent Shawnee leader, were significant during this period. While Tecumseh pursued a broader resistance against American encroachment, Quatawapea focused on the immediate needs and sovereignty of his community. He applied Tecumseh's broader ideals to the local context of Shawnee Town, emphasizing the preservation of Shawnee identity in a rapidly changing environment.
Life in Shawnee Town involved a careful balance between peaceful coexistence with American settlers and preparation for potential conflicts. The Shawnee adapted to their new environment by integrating local resources into their economy while preserving their cultural practices. Quatawapea's strategic approach to diplomacy and defense was crucial in navigating the challenges of coexistence with American settlers and other tribes. Quatawapea's leadership in Shawnee Town exemplified his commitment to preserving Shawnee autonomy and culture against the backdrop of relentless American expansion. His era in the Ozarks highlights his resilience and adaptability, crucial for the survival of his people in an evolving world. Quatawapea's vision of establishing an autonomous Shawnee nation in what is now Marion County, Arkansas, ultimately faced overwhelming challenges from American expansionism. Despite his strategic foresight and efforts to preserve Shawnee sovereignty and cultural integrity, the enactment of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, dealt a decisive blow. This legislation aimed to forcibly relocate Native American tribes from their ancestral lands east of the Mississippi River, culminating in the infamous Trail of Tears. Throughout this tumultuous period, Quatawapea struggled to uphold Shawnee rights amidst the relentless push for westward expansion. His leadership was marked by a continuous battle to maintain Shawnee autonomy, while contending with increasingly hostile policies and encroachment. Despite his diplomatic and strategic efforts, the forces of American expansion proved insurmountable, and the Shawnee were compelled to leave their lands in Arkansas.
The forced relocation to Indian Territory, now modern-day Oklahoma, was more than a physical journey. It was a profound cultural and existential upheaval. This move marked the end of their brief period in the Ozarks, a time when they had hoped to establish a stable and autonomous refuge. The transition to new lands represented a dramatic shift from their ancestral homes, fundamentally altering their way of life.
Quatawapea passed away in Shawnee Town, Arkansas, where he was buried somewhere along Crooked Creek near Yellville. His burial site, accompanied by a presidential medal, symbolizes his deep connection to the region and the recognition he received for his leadership and diplomatic efforts. This medal serves as a poignant reminder of his status and interactions with American leadership during a time of intense struggle. The failure of Quatawapea's vision was not due to a lack of leadership or strategic acumen, but was overwhelmed by the systemic forces of the American westward expansion. His story and leadership during the most difficult times, intertwined with the broader narrative of the Trail of Tears, shows the resilience and adaptability of the Shawnee people.